Tesla has reduced the price of the Model 3. All three variants are now cheaper. The Model Y, two variants are cheaper, and there is one new model which you should really consider if you're looking at a Model Y. Here's all the changes, and the question here that I have to say is now worth asking. Is it better to get a Tesla Model 3 or a BYD Atto 3? Now they do compare. They're actually much more similar in size than you think. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking, great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back everyone else. And there's been about 6,000 new subscribers over the last few weeks. To all of you, great to have you. We have done more than 2,900 videos over the past 22 months since we started this channel. So make sure you click that little icon notification bell and subscribe. There's more videos here about EVs, about all the changes going on with EVs and EV battery packs in particular than any other channel elsewhere. Aussies have been saying for a while now, it's not fair, Tesla vehicles are cheaper in America. Actually, the Model 3 is cheaper in Australia. Seriously. If you actually do the exchange, if you exchange it from Australian dollars to US dollars, the Model 3 is less than 41,000 US dollars. In the US, it's 42,990. It's actually a couple of $1,000s cheaper now in Australia. How long will the price last? I don't know, but I do have a suspicion that there'll be a change to the Model 3 within the next month or two, and then the price will go up. So if you want this version of the Model 3 for this price, then you'll probably have, in my opinion, around 2 months to get it at this price. Now, before I get into these price changes, which are significant because they've affected every single model being offered in Australia, the Model Y long range is finally for sale here. We haven't been able to get the Model Y long range. We've only had the performance model and, of course, the standard range model. But now we're getting the long range model. It's all-wheel drive, and it gets around 533 kilometers of WLTP range, which makes it a very good all-around car, especially if you've got kids, you want to do road trips. You're probably looking at it going, it doesn't look very big. Actually, it is. It's got a massive boot. The boot is significantly bigger than a BMW X5 boot, which is a bigger car, obviously. But the way they've packaged this car is one of the best things about it. The Model Y range has now been expanded in Australia from 2 models to 3 models. So many people say that the battery pack in this car is 82 kilowatt hours in size. It's a lithium ternary pack, not a lithium iron phosphate pack. That's one thing you should know. It's dual motor. It's got one motor at the front, one motor at the back. It's got smaller wheels than the performance model, which is a good thing. That's why you're getting more range. That's probably the biggest reason you're getting more range, the smaller wheels. So if you want that range, don't get bigger wheels. You're going to get less range if you put the bigger wheels on it. You can option 20-inch wheels, then your range will just go down. It's not really a great decision unless you don't care about range. So it's priced at 82,000 or 81,900 Australian dollars plus on-road costs, which means that it is exactly $13,000 more than the standard Tesla Model Y. Is it worth paying that much more for this model? I mean, really, you don't get a whole lot more. You're probably getting about 85 kilometers more range. You're getting a few features here and there, but really not very much. But you are getting a much bigger battery pack. Now, if you get it without any options, you can get it without paying for the luxury tax. It's $1,216 below the luxury tax threshold. And if you want to qualify for fringe benefits tax exemptions, then you need to get it standard. You can't get any options, otherwise it doesn't qualify. If you change the color, if you get different wheels, if you get interior changes, then the price will be above the luxury tax threshold and above the FBT threshold. So you're going to see a lot of these in white. A lot of these are going to be bought in white with standard wheels, and so they should be. That's the best version. It's the best value. The long range all-wheel drive gets you 533 kilometers, which is a little bit more than the performance version, which does 514 kilometers, and the rear-wheel drive version, which gives you 455 kilometers. Power is said to be 378 kilowatt. Well, that's what drive.com.au says. I mean, Tesla doesn't release an actual power figure. We don't know if that's true. That's about 520 horsepower if that's true. It'll do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5 seconds, 0 to 62 in 5 seconds. But you got to remember, in the US and in other countries, you can get the performance option for this at any time. At any time while you're driving, you can just say, you know what, I want more power. And you can pay a few $1,000s more, and that will make the car much, much faster. It'll do 0 to 100 in around 4 seconds. This is kind of a sneaky way to get the performance version, right? And not pay for it. The performance version is another $13,000 over and above this, but you can unlock pretty much the same power as the performance version for only a few $1,000s extra. That's definitely worth considering if you're looking at the performance version. Get the long range version and just unlock the more power. Now, yes, the performance version does have, you know, different wheels, different tires. It's obviously got different suspension and also different brakes. But realistically, no one races these things. You're going to go fast in a straight line, have some fun, enjoy it, but you're probably not going to go racing around mountainous roads. So it's definitely worth looking at. What about the performance model? What kind of performance does that give you? Well, in the US, in the UK, in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand, everywhere, you're going to get 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.7 seconds. 0 to 62 miles an hour, that is. Top speed is 250 kilometers an hour. But if you want the Tesla Model 3 long range, so let's say you decide, no, I don't need the Model Y, I want to consider the Model 3 long range because I want more range, then you can get 600 kilometers, 602 kilometers. That one will do 0 to 62 miles an hour standard in 4.4 seconds. But strangely, it has a lower top speed of 233 kilometers an hour. So compared to the Model Y rear-wheel drive, in other words, the standard model, you're going to get front LED fog lights plus 19-inch Gemini wheels or 20-inch induction wheels. Those are the same as the standard range version. Other than that, features are identical to the base model. So it's not much different. You're really just paying for a bigger battery pack and a different battery chemistry. So what's standard? Well, standard on all models of Model 3 and Model Y is a 15-inch touchscreen, synthetic leather look upholstery, power adjustable heated front seats and heated rear seats, a heated steering wheel, tinted glass roof, 13 speaker sound system, plus subwoofer and 2 amplifiers. Now, this is probably one of the biggest and best things you get with a Model Y and a Model 3, and they come standard across the range. The sound system was actually created by sound engineers from Bang & Olufsen. So, yeah, it's a really good sound system. I would say better than any other comparably priced car on the market in the world. I can't think of any other car that costs $60,000. 13 speakers, subwoofer, 2 amplifiers, and really good sound. I've read reviews across so many publications that say one of the highlights of this car is the sound system. So let's have a look at the price changes for all models. Every single model is now cheaper, other than this new version. Of course, the new version of the Model Y long range has only just hit the market, so the price is the price. Well, the entry-level version now of the Model 3 is 60,900 Australian dollars. That's a really good deal. That makes it about $10,000, well, slightly less than $10,000 more than the BYD Atto 3. But keep in mind the Atto 3 it's a size down in terms of its overall size. Yes, it's an SUV. It does have that advantage, but the actual boot size, from what I've seen driving both cars, I'd say it's very similar. Maybe the Model 3's boot is slightly less practical because it's not a hatchback, but the actual interior space in the Model 3 is, I think, slightly bigger than the BYD Atto 3. Really worth considering both of these cars here. Obviously, the Tesla has some features that are better. Its ADAS system is far superior. That's not just opinion, by the way. Everyone says that who's tested the cars. That's also the official ruling from the safety organizations who have tested these cars. Tesla's ADAS system gets like a 93. I believe the Atto 3 gets about a 74, 76. Big difference in terms of the usability of using the touchscreens. I was a bit confused using the Atto 3. So there's some pros and cons. The BYD is much cheaper, but in some ways, the Model 3 is the better car. Definitely worth having a look at both if you're in the market. The Model 3 long range. So that has obviously the bigger battery pack. It's going to give you around 602 kilometers of range. That one costs 73,900 Australian dollars. And then the Model 3 Performance is now 4,400 Australian dollars cheaper, and it costs 86,900. That means there's a price reduction of 5.5%. It's a similar price reduction to what the Model 3 standard range and long range got. They all got around about that price reduction, right? The Model 3 Performance, if you're considering a performance car, I think it's clearly the best value for money performance car you can buy in Australia. Tell me another car that has anywhere near this kind of performance for that price, 87,000 Australian dollars. That's an incredible deal. If you're saying, oh yeah, but it's just an EV, can't go around corners, you're wrong, because Top Gear said the same thing, and then they tested it at their performance track, and it was 2 seconds faster around their track, which is a short track. It's only a minute long track, right? But it does have a lot of corners. A minute long track, it was 2 seconds faster than the BMW M2. So yeah, it is a legit performance car. It goes around corners pretty well. All Model Y variants have, or both Model Y variants have had a $400 reduction in price. Not much different. You're looking at, very little change. So the price is 68,900 Australian dollars for the Model Y. If you want the performance version, it's 94,900. And the long range version is 81,900. I think the long range version is the car you probably want to get if you've got a family and you're doing road trips often. That would be the best choice in that situation. It's got faster charging speeds as well. The Model Y long range and the Model Y Performance both have faster charging speeds than the standard range. That applies to the Model 3 as well. So charging speeds around about 170 kilowatt on the standard range models. It's around 240, 250 on the performance and long range models. That's one of the biggest differences. Now, if you're considering the actual luxury car tax, if you want a Model Y, the performance version does go above the luxury car tax threshold. You will have to pay a few $1,000s when you buy that car if you're getting the performance version. But it's less than what you'll pay if you buy a gasoline, petrol-powered car. The luxury tax payment is less if you have an EV versus a non-EV. So that's worth considering as well. Clearly, Tesla is really the only car company that is constantly adjusting its prices based on customer demand, inflation, exchange rates, other factors, I think. And I think that's a really good strategy. There's a lot of manufacturers that just increase their prices. Now, inflation has been huge over the last 12 months, right? If you include the costs of inflation, the Tesla Model 3 has never been cheaper in Australia. It's a really good deal at this price. So is the Model Y. Both of them I absolutely recommend over many other models of electric car which you can buy. I mean, for example, other companies are offering EVs that are a size down, right, and have less range for about the same price. So the Model 3 and the BYD Atto 3, definitely cross-shop, consider those. If you want a bigger car, the Model Y is a fair bit bigger than a BYD Atto 3, and that's going to be the one to go for there. So let's just go through those prices again. Model 3 rear-wheel drive, 60,900. Model 3 long range, all-wheel drive, 73,900. Model 3 Performance, all-wheel drive, 87,500. Price discounts on those models are between 3,500 to 4,400. The Tesla Model Y price has been reduced on the standard range by 400, and the price has been reduced on the Performance by 520. Price of the standard range, 68,900. Price of the Model Y, 81,900, and price of the Performance model, 97,900. Clearly, the best value cars here, without a doubt, are the base model variants. Keep in mind as well, they've got lithium iron phosphate batteries. If you're going to keep these cars a long time, if you're going to charge the batteries a lot, you're going to do a lot of range. I mean, I'm talking 10 plus years, you're going to keep them. Then the standard range variants are the ones to go for based on their battery chemistry. Global recalls for batteries are very rare for lithium iron phosphate batteries, regardless of YouTube clickbait videos saying that lithium iron phosphate batteries in China are blowing up everywhere that aren't actually true. Yes, they are actually very good battery packs in the standard range. And as you probably know, as soon as there is a fire or a problem in a Tesla car, the entire world knows about it. There hasn't really been any in the lithium iron phosphate equipped standard range vehicles that Tesla sells. They've been incredibly reliable. Obviously, that's partly down to Tesla's engineering, as well as the actual battery chemistry and the battery packs. Let me know your thoughts on this. Are you considering one of these cars? Which one? Let me know why. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.